A voiceover documentary can be a really creative and powerful type of film to make, and it is composed of two things, a visual shot and a voice to go over the shots. Here are 4 random shots, and notice how I'm talking about each one. Walking in the rain with 2 bags of shopping, maybe full of chocolate. And now I'm thinking, how am I gonna make this film? Oh, and here is one of my favorite pens, and I've had this guy a long time. Look what he can do! And oh yes, can't do anything without this. Hot, 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 hot. Yeah, hot. Now let's look at all these shots together. These are all examples of how voice and visuals can work together. They're all a bit random, aren't they? Not very connected to each other. Let's try this. Hello, I'm Hafsah, an artist and filmmaker, and I live in the north of England, United Kingdom. I make lots of different types of art and film, and I also run working class film school for young people. One of my favourite work to make is documentary. There are lots of different types of documentary, but in this film, I'm going to talk about the voiceover documentary. Now let's take another look at that introduction. Have you noticed that you can't actually see me talking? Instead, you see a series of shots that are connected to what I'm saying. In other words, the visuals together with the voiceover are starting to tell a story. And it's a great example of making an introduction. The best bit is you can make this type of documentary with a smartphone, a free editing app, a recording app, and of course your own special mix of creativity and passion for visual storytelling. Let's talk a little bit about how you might use your smartphone to create great images. Let's take this scene as an example. A camera in your hand means you have now become a human tripod. That's right, you've become a tripod. You can raise and lower yourself to create interesting perspectives. You can move from side to side, taking in a wide shot of a location. Sometimes we notice things that we didn't immediately see. This is a close-up, but I'm also moving around to create a different effect. From here, this tree doesn't look very interesting, but once I go in to take a detail shot, I really want to see more. It's a very creative shot that can pick up patterns and texture, and you can find some pretty unexpected things when you shoot in this way. Oh, hi little guy. See? Now I've got some shots, I'm off to do some voiceover recording. Voiceover recording is a really fun and creative activity, but there are a couple of things to remember. Record your voice in different rooms to test which one gives you the best audio. Well, what is the best audio, you might ask? Well, you want something that has no echoes, and you want something that has no background noises too. Try using a small bedroom with no one in it, maybe have the windows closed, and maybe even have some ideas written down. You might be a list person or a script person. Either way, having some written notes might help. The important thing is not to speak too fast or too slowly. Both these things can be really difficult for an audience to keep up with. The best voiceovers are ones where you are talking about something you care about, a personal and powerful subject such as climate change. Climate change is a subject that is all around us. There are lots of issues you can explore in your documentary. It may be that you're on your way to school and you see and hear a lot of traffic and smog, or there's a lot of plastic waste on the floor. Issues such as litter, carbon emissions, air pollution are just a few examples you could explore. When selecting your subject, Choose something that you can connect with and want to do something about. Make sure it is local, because all of this will help you explore it with some authenticity and meaning. But where do we begin, and how do you explore your subject? We need structure, people. It's all about structure. In documentary, you always have to introduce the problem first, and then explore its negative impact, and then suggest a solution, and then discuss the benefits. And you've got to do this by showing also shots that are connected to what you're saying in your voiceover. This might help. Now, I love coffee, and I think it's the best drink in the whole world. I did some research and found that 2 billion cups of coffee are made every day on our planet. Just think what kind of damage this could be doing to the climate. But there are some solutions. One is to buy fair trade coffee, which is what I do. Fair trade means that I pay more for my coffee so that farmers get paid more. And they can also use this to improve their soil and water quality, avoiding harmful chemicals, and generally reduce their greenhouse emissions and protect biodiversity. Now, if I wanted to make a documentary about this, the problem would be that there is too much coffee consumption in the world and it's damaging the environment. And one of the solutions is to buy fair trade coffee, but then I'd go on to discuss the benefits this has for farmers and the environment. So remember, once you choose your climate change issue, just start by recording some shots with some voiceover. And when you begin, you will start to make plans. And once you start to make plans, congratulations, you are giving your documentary some structure. Oh yeah, and those shopping bags, totally cool for the environment, not plastic, 100% compostable. So I've come to my local community garden centre. They're committed and passionate about helping people and the environment. They do a really lot of good stuff here, and it'd be great to find someone to interview. I'm not going to interview Lily the cat, by the way, but it's always good to ask permission from the person in charge and explain what your documentary is about. And that would be Janet there in the background. And again, not Lily the cat. You can interview anyone, but choose someone who will say something valuable about the subject you're exploring. It can be your friend, your elders, a neighbour, a business owner, a community leader, as long as they can share their opinion or experience about your subject. Ow. Choose a person who might be telling you more about the problem and its impact, or telling you more about the solution and its benefits, or maybe it'll be a bit of both, and that's why I'm interviewing Hannah. Choose where you think would be a good spot for the interview. I like that wooden bench. Now I'm going to frame Hannah in shot. It can't be too far away or too close, as it can make people feel uncomfortable. Hi, Hannah. This size is perfect. Here, Hannah is looking at me off camera in one shot and directly to the camera in the other. Which one will you choose? Either is fine, but always remember to keep the camera at eye line. This means to keep the camera lens at the same level as the interviewee's eyes. You might think this is a small thing, but no, it goes a really long way to creating a powerful effect for the audience. Like, you want them to feel they're almost there with the interviewee. We had a really good chat, Hannah and I, and I'm going to share a tiny section of it in the last and final section of this film. And that is putting all your shots and voiceover together to create your final film. Now, there are and will be lots of free editing apps available for both Android and Apple phones. They all will have similar features and layouts, but the basic idea is that you have to bring all your recorded shots and audio voiceover files into the editing app and arrange them into your final sequence. It's so creative, it's mind-blowing, and this is where all your plans and structure come together. Remember, introduce the problem, the impact, the solution, and benefits. Keep to this sequence in your editing, but play around. See what happens when you change the order of your shots. Add text and add copyright-free music. Slowly, you will start to build up an amazing piece of work ready for the world to see. Speaking of amazing, Manchester is a big city in the north of England. It seems like there's always building work going on here, and as the central area increases, the lack of green space is obvious. So too is the question for many that this must be damaging the environment. Even in lockdown, building work continued. And as there is a lot of development in Manchester, it has always been a people city, a creative city. It's a place of change, but it's also a place where we can make things happen for the common good. Losing our connection to nature is what Hannah describes as climate anxiety, and she has some real experience of feeling this from an early age. She's a volunteer at Hume Community Garden Centre, an eco-friendly organisation just outside the city centre. Hume Community Garden is reconnecting us to nature and encouraging us to lead environmentally friendly lives. I asked Hannah what she thought about climate change and how did it become the issue that it is, and what she thought we could do about it.
I think the problem primarily to do with climate change and our lack of care towards the environment comes from a cultural attitude to do with exploitation and consumerism. I think we have an obsession of having more, and it doesn't matter where it comes from, and it doesn't matter what we have to do to get it. The only way to kind of deal with it is to take action and sort of have a new perspective on it and change it into if I don't do something, it's going to be worse. The only thing I'm going to do is going to be something positive, so I might as well do it, even if it doesn't work, even if it doesn't work, it's not going to have a negative impact, so you might as well. Talk to your friends, your family, your teachers, anybody who is also interested in this, and talk about problems about climate change and the solutions, because this is how we start making progress and dealing with the situation, by getting together and really recognising that we have power. And finally, just be you, just be fearless in this whole crazy situation, and take action where you can, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Good luck.
Hearing Hannah speak got me thinking about how she is doing her bit by volunteering in places that promote our understanding about climate change. And it was really, really good to hear encouraging words about no matter what we decide to do as individuals to help the environment, we can all start by taking small steps towards it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the voiceover documentary. I want to say thank you to all the kind staff and volunteers at Hume Community Garden Centre, and also a big special thanks to Hannah, and of course all the lovely creatures we met along the way. I'm Hafsah from Working Class Film School, signing off and walking away into the morning sun for yet another amazing film adventure. Good luck with your project, have lots of fun, and I hope it's the start of your journey into filmmaking.